let's stand towards the front of the mat. Let's start to stretch the spine. So take the hands out to the side, push the backs of the hands back, lift your chest up, and try to get your chest reaching towards the sky as much as possible where the tailbone drops down. So really opening up that chest area. Open, open, open. This is so important for us to do since we continually close it most of the day. And then we're going to get closed. So we'll take the hands to the thighs, drop the head, and start to roll the spine down. So imagine you have a wall behind you, and you're just peeling your spine off a wall. Or you can imagine that you're a piece of tape coming off a present very, very gently, so nobody knows you're taking a peek. And then all the way down, as far down as you can go. And then when you get to that point, lean onto the arches of your feet and then straighten out your knees. So go ahead and start to stretch the backs of the knees. And that might mean you have to come up a little bit. It just depends on, your flexibility. That's right. And then we're going to take the hands to the floor. So you might need to bend your knees there. Great. Then take that right foot back. And we'll go into that lunge. First, let's start with the knee down. So right foot back, knee down for starters. Tuck the tailbone, bring the chest up, drop the hips, arms overhead, and let's do that upper back arch again. So let's try not to get into the low back. And what we're doing here is stretching the front chest, but also stretching that hip flexor on the right. Stretch that hip flexor. Now take the hands down to the sides of the foot. We're going to start to get into the belly. So take that front foot back, and let's go onto the knees. We're going to take all the lower levels first. So onto the knees into the knee plank. And then just bring your knee to your nose, right knee to the nose, round the back, pull the belly in and use those abs, and then go back into your knee plank. And then switch. Left leg, nose to knee, squeeze the belly up, round the spine, and then back to the plank. And let's do it a few more times. Exhale, round. Inhale, drop it back down. Exhale, inhale. Exhale. Each time you round the spine, really, really do your best to touch your knee to your nose. And that's going to require some belly squeezing. And then when you drop your hips down, try not to let your belly just fall to the floor. Rather, hold it up towards your spine and just get long and straight. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Hold it here. Sit back into a child's pose. Stretch it out a little bit. Drop your tail, but don't move your hands. So if you keep your hands there, you'll probably find that you can't touch your hips to your feet, and that's okay. And now looking in between your hands, take the right foot forward. So now we've got the opposite leg in back, coming up, hands on hips. Then, if you're comfortable and balanced, arms overhead, lift the chest, breastbone open, and then give me as much of an upper back arch as you can without getting into the low back. And actually think about pushing your tailbone forward and then sit into your front knee, front foot, so that you got a lot of opening in that left hip flexor. Couple breaths. And then with an exhale, hands down to the front foot, tuck the back toes, come forward, feet together, drop the head, really let the spine stretch, and then come into a flat back, hands on shins, push those knees back, stretch out the backs of the knees, hands on hips, and then unhinge at the hips, coming up with a nice straight spine. Inhale, arms overhead. Upper back arch again, opening the chest, working the upper back. Exhale, float the arms down to the sides, reach back down to the floor. We're going to do this again. Take the left foot back this time. And you can do one of the two. You can go back onto the knee if you don't feel too balanced with your knee off the floor. And if you feel pretty balanced, then squeeze the inner thighs together, squeeze that lower belly back, and then come up using your abs to a nice standing lunge. Yes. And then we're going to get that hip flexor stretch again, right here, sinking into your hips. And then take those arms overhead again if you feel comfortable. And then go into the upper back arch again if you feel balanced. Good. So we are working those inner thighs now for balance and definitely pulling that lower belly back for balance. And then deep breath here. Inhale. Exhale, hands down to the front foot. Step back into your plank again. Oh, yes. Now, you can go onto your knee plank, just like we did, or you can hold that toe plank. And then we're going to go again. So right knee to the nose, round the back, pull the belly up and in, and then step back into your plank, and left side. Exhale, inhale. Exhale, inhale. So we get really round and tight in the belly when the nose comes to the knee. And then we lengthen the spine. But to make sure that we're in a nice plank, at that end point, I want you to feel a tightening right underneath your glutes when you're in a straight plank. Or even if you're on your knees here. Oh, yeah. Last set, one each side. 1. Oh, yeah. 2, done. Down to the knees. And now take the left. Oh, let's go into that child's pose. We did that in the middle. Let's go for that. Couple breaths. Relax those shoulders. Relax the shoulder blades down to the sides of your body. Oh, yeah. Push into your hands. Come up. Take the left foot forward in between the hands. Tuck the right toes, and then you can either stay on a knee or pick that leg up. Squeeze your inner thighs if your knee is off the floor. Squeeze your belly back and come up into your standing lunge. Stay here or take the arms overhead. Keep that position or lift your breastbone, drop your shoulder blades. So the goal here is to get nice and light and lifted in the upper body and just get a little heavy and sink down in the lower body, looking good. Pull that lower belly in. Exhaling, coming down, hands and to the sides of the front foot. Take the right foot back, step it back up, drop the head, grab your shins wherever you are, and just hold and breathe. Now I want you to cross your arms and drop your head and just hang. And if it feels good, you can sway a little bit side to side. And if it feels good, you can bend your knees and just do a little pedal. Alternating knees, that's right. And then just hang. And then take your hands back to your shins, squeeze the quads and straighten out the backs of the knees. Really want to open up those knees for healthy knees. And then slide the hands up the shins, look up, get into a nice tabletop. Pull the lower belly in, shoulder blades back and down. Stretching the head forward, stretching out that neck. And then exhale, squeeze the belly in. Come up with your hands on hips. Okay. I think I want to go around one more time. Are you with me? Okay. So here we are. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, float down, pull the belly in. Hands to the floor, automatically to the floor. Take the left foot back, bend the right knee. Pull the belly in, squeeze the inner thighs, coming up. So you can be on your knees or toes here. Stretch that back leg, push that back knee to the sky, drop the tailbone, upper back arch if you can. Deep breath. Exhale, hands to the front foot. Step back, knee plank or toe plank. Squeeze the tops of those hamstrings, bottoms of the glutes to get a nice long low back. And then 10, nose to knee, alternate. Exhale, inhale. This is 3 for me. And 4, I'm just going to keep counting for you. 5, reach and curl and reach. 7, 8, 9, get long. And 10, hold that plank, drop the tailbone, push the hands into the floor, push the hands to the floor and away from you. Reach the head and heels away from each other. And now down to your knees and child's pose. Try to keep that neck nice and relaxed. Push into the hands. Look forward, and then take that left foot in between the hands. Stay on the knee or tuck the toe, and then lift that right knee up if that's where you're going with it. Squeeze your inner thighs and your lower belly coming up. Stretching, stretching, stretching that right hip flexor. Upper back arch. Get light in the upper body and sink down heavy in the low body. Get grounded in the legs. And exhaling, hands down, sides of the front foot, step together. Grab your shins and pull your body towards your legs. So now we're going to give the low back a nice deep stretch. Pull your legs and pull your chest closer to your legs. That's right. And then push those knees back. Nice deep hamstring stretch as well. And then relax, let go. Slide the hands up the shins to a tabletop. Pull the belly in and get it ready to lift the upper body up. Hands on hips, belly button back, and unhinge the hips. Very nice.